Hey all, it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy, and I'm out here in the garden because these next couple days I am going to be getting the fall crops planted in the garden. So how I get the garden ready for fall planting is, first off, I clean out the garden. I kind of look around the whole summer garden and kind of see, what plants are kind of done or have completely died. So I just go around the garden, kind of look at everything, and I start pulling out anything that needs to be pulled out, anything that's dead or dying back or is done producing. So I clean out those garden spaces, and then what you want to do every time you plant something, you want to amend your beds, because you've already grown a crop there. And especially if it's not a crop like beans or peas that they give back to the soil, like they put nitrogen and things back into the soil. If you don't have crops like that planted in those areas where you're going to be replanting things in your garden, then you really need to be amending those spots where you're going to be replanting, because a lot of times those plants that were already planted there are taking a lot of the nutrition out of the soil. So especially if it's a crop that's going to be needing the same kind of nutrition as that crop that was there before it, that nutrition's not going to be there for that plant. So you need to be putting things back into your soil. If you want to get things and plants, if you want to get stuff from your soil, you need to be putting back into your soil. So I'm going to be amending my beds with compost and mulch and just any kind of rich organic matter. Leaves is a good thing, because if you put those in there, they're going to be slowly breaking down, and leaf mulch is actually really, really good for your soil. And I don't know if some of you do worm farming, but a lot of people, they'll put worm castings or things like that in their garden beds, and that is really good too. Or I have the rabbits, which I take the rabbit droppings, because rabbit droppings is a cold manure, so that's not going to be burning the plants. So I can put those rabbit droppings right in the garden beds, and the plants will thrive on that, because the rabbit droppings is cold manure, and even if I put my plants right in those garden beds, it's not going to be burning my plants, because that's a cold manure. So unlike a ton of other different kinds of animal droppings, a lot of other kinds, they're hot, so a lot of times those will burn your plants, and a lot of times those actually need time to decompose before you put them in your garden beds and plant into them. So that's another way that I'm going to be amending the garden beds. So cleaning out the gardens, getting them all prepped and fertilized, and putting nutrition back in that soil. And then I'm going to be kind of looking at what kind of crops I still have left in here, and kind of looking at the different spaces that I have where I can plant, and then picking the good spots for those different crops that I'm going to be putting in here. And then also a lot of times companion planting, if you kind of figure out what likes to grow next to what, a lot of times that will also have things do better as well, because also a lot of things that I have in the summer garden will grow right into fall. So if I'm planting those fall crops next to those summer crops that are already in here, and then they grow next to each other, And then especially if you're doing the companion planting, if they're helping each other, you know, then your garden's just going to do even better. So just kind of thinking about a lot of those different things as we're going into fall planting and fall crops and getting ready for the fall garden. All right, all, I have lots of garden prep to do to get these gardens ready for fall crops. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.